Hello and welcome to episode 29 of the Late Night Gaming Show. Unfortunately, I am all alone today. Jodie has literally just got back from Canada, so she's going to be jet lagged and all sorts. Mike, unfortunately, ate some dodgy Chinese last night, so he is unfortunately not feeling very well at all. But I wanted to keep this going. We are committed to bringing you the Late Night Gaming Show every single week, so I am just going to be doing this all by myself, and that's okay, because we can just share this moment together and talk about video games. So I am just going to move straight into our first section, which is, what have I been playing this week?
What you been playing this week?
Okay then, so what have I been playing this week? So if you've been following the channel this week, you'll know that I have just put up our very first video review, and that video review was Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. So that is what I've been playing mostly, because I really wanted to get that review out for you guys. So I played it a lot over the 3 days that I tried to get that review up for you. I'm going to talk about it more in reviews of the week. I just want to go into a little bit more detail. Obviously, the review was a 10-minute review, and you can go and check that out if you want all the information. But I will touch on it more in that section. But other than that, I've actually just started trying to get through Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I've had this game for ages. I played it a bit, but it's so long and all sorts that other things came and went. So I thought, now I've got one more week where I have to be off because of my ankle. If you've been following that, I have had a devastating ankle injury, which has basically meant I can't move around very much. So I've had plenty of time to myself. So I've been trying to finish off games that I haven't got around to finishing off, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was almost on the top of my list, really. I really wanted to get into that. So now I'm going to take a little bit of a break from Monster Hunter, even though I am still playing it. But I'm focusing on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a bit as well. So that's pretty much what I'm playing. Let us know what you're playing. I'm interested. Have you picked up Monster Hunter? Did we encourage you to pick it up? Did we prevent you from getting it? Did you watch our review and go, heck no, I don't want that? Let us know. But that's what I've been playing this week. And now we're going to move into section 2, which is the news.
It's time for some news, yeah. It's time for some news.
Okay then, we have 6 items on the list for today. 6 news stories. So number 1, this week we found out that Battlefield 5 got delayed, and to me this is a huge deal. I think EA is a very arrogant company, and I think it takes a lot for them to delay a game as big as Battlefield. But I think if you've been watching the show for a while, you'll know that Battlefield 5's pre-order numbers have not been doing too well. I think the estimate was 80% less than Call of Duty, which is insane. And obviously this is the game that EA loves to try and chip away at Call of Duty. They want to take a lot of that market share. But basically they said it was because they wanted to improve the game, and they got some feedback from when they've done shows from members of the media. I think, let's just be honest, it's a load of rubbish. Clearly that is not the reason. I think they've looked at the pre-order forecasts, and it's not looking good. They really do not want another situation that they had with Battlefront 2 last year. So I think they just wanted to move it along, try and get away from all the controversy that they've had, and give them a bit of space. And I think they're hoping that, it'll die down, and then people will just be like, oh, cool, a nice little shooter before Christmas. I don't think it's going to work. I think, oh boy, it's not good times. I think one way it could work out is if Call of Duty comes out. That seems to be the pre-orders numbers for that seem to be really good, and I think if that comes out really poor, or well, as if it's not received very well and the game just isn't great, and people aren't happy with the lack of content, because let's be honest, that is the situation for them. I think people could come away from that and go, oh, actually Battlefield is coming out in however many weeks. We'll pick up that, and hopefully that'll be better. So the new release date for Battlefield 5, if you were interested in that game, is now the 20th of November. So it has had a significant, around about a month delay. But that's the thing, it's just another reason why it's blatantly not true. That it's just about improving the game. I mean, like, they're literally giving themselves a month. Like, I just don't buy it. And I don't think you should too. But if you're interested in that game, you'll just be waiting a bit longer. But it's good that it'll be more away from Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, and it'll be away from Call of Duty and all them. So it gives it a bit of space, which is pretty good, I guess. Will I be playing it? I really doubt it. But anyway, there you go. Number 2, Nintendo did a nice little surprise and revealed their new mobile game. And this new mobile game is called Dragalia Lost. I probably butchered that name, but I think that's what it's called. And this is basically a brand new IP being developed just for mobile. Looks really interesting. It's kind of an action role-playing game, but apparently it's got a lot of the gotcha mechanics, which is, if you don't know, it's basically those machines that you go and put a pound in, or if you're in America, you put however many quarters in or whatever, you turn it and then you get a little capsule and it has a little toy in it. And obviously there's usually one or two that you really want, and you have to keep going until you get that one that you really want. And it's kind of, I think it's got kind of that mechanic in it. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how Nintendo handle it, because they've expressed a lot that they're not really massive fans of the freemium model, which is basically, it's basically free, but then you have to pay a ton. Or even how they handled Super Mario Run, where it was like free, but then you paid for more levels and things like that. I think they're not crazy about that. So I'm interested to see how they're going to handle this, and will it get out of control? Will they basically be pushing you to spend tons and tons and tons of money? I don't know. But there you go. Very interesting. So I don't think that actually has a release date yet, but that is going to be their new game. So that was a nice surprise, and I'm actually looking forward to trying something new from Nintendo on that platform, and we'll see where it goes. Number 3, Streets of Rage 4 got an announcement this week as well. So for all you young'uns out there, you might not know what Streets of Rage is, but Streets of Rage back when I was younger, oh my word, it was just so good. So it's kind of like a side-scrolling brawler. I don't know if that's how you define it, but it's basically you basically just walk a little bit, and then there's just loads of enemies coming, and you just punch them up, and then you move along. But the whole aesthetic of it and everything when I was a kid was just so fun, and I remember playing it with some of my mates and stuff, and just had such fun memories of it. So I'm surprised they're not just doing either a remake of it or just re-releasing it in some way. Streets of Rage 1 to 3. So it's interesting that they're getting a brand new one. The trailer didn't actually show any gameplay or anything. It was just kind of characters flying across the screen. Not sure how I feel about the art style. I think I'm gonna have to reserve judgment until the actual game is shown properly. But I don't know whether to be excited about this or not. This type of game, I feel just hasn't aged well at all. I think when you go back and play things like Streets of Rage, like, it's all right to play, but it's just not the same these days. I think games have progressed so much that these types of games just, I don't think, work very well. But there you go. I think I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm interested to see how it turns out. I'm interested to see how much of it really is Streets of Rage, or are they just using the name to sell more copies to nostalgia fans? I don't know, but we will wait and see. Number 4. So a PlayStation executive came out and in an interview talked about the whole crossplay controversy that PlayStation's having at the moment. So at the moment, you've got Xbox, you've got Nintendo, you've got all the PC crowd. They're all playing happy families at the moment. You can play games like Fortnite across all these platforms. This is like one of those things that years ago you never would have thought would happen, that you could play on a Nintendo platform and then play with somebody on an Xbox. You just never would have imagined that was possible, but here we are. And Sony is kind of the only ones who are reluctant to join in on this. And it's just annoying everybody. So the reason they gave before was because it was dangerous, or like they have a responsibility to their users to keep them safe and stuff. And it was blatantly just a load of rubbish, because it's not like just random people from other platforms, just because it's another platform, can just suddenly contact you and do all sorts. It's just very much the same rules apply if you were just playing on PlayStation. So really, everybody was basically going, well, it's about you wanting money, and they don't want me going on my Switch and buying Fortnite skins and V-Bucks on my Switch and then going over to my PS4 and then all that stuff coming across me because then they've lost out on money. And that's what it's really about. And they just wouldn't really admit that. But then this guy just came out and just said it as it is, really. And he just basically said, look, PlayStation's the best place to play. And that's it. So basically, he was basically going, hi, we're really arrogant Sony that's hurt you in the past. As in, like, if you were around for the PS3 moment when they were literally so arrogant, they thought they could do whatever they wanted, and they just came out and it was like $500 or $600 or something for a PS3, which is just so ridiculous. You know, it's basically, it feels very much like the old Sony. And I really, the question going into it is, what will happen when it's the PS5? Because I feel like this could be a sticking point for people. I know it would be a sticking point for me because I know if I can get my, because the Switch is great and it is my main console really now. But sometimes it's great to go on the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X or whatever and have a bit of like a higher resolution experience with better graphics and stuff. And I just think like that could, for me, actually be a defining factor that like all these third-party games that are going to be coming out, if they're all expecting to be cross-play, like I want to be able to play them across my two favorite devices. And I'm just like, if PlayStation isn't going to join in on that, then that could be a point where I just go, well, I'm just not going to buy your console right now. I think the strength of their exclusives, I think, does make a big deal. Like games like God of War and Uncharted and Horizon Zero Dawn, things like that, does make a big difference. And I would probably still want a PlayStation for that. And I think that's what they're counting on. But I think it's very dangerous for people who, you know, may only be able to buy one console or two consoles. You know, I mean, I think you're very lucky if you can get two consoles. Having a third one just for that, it can get quite tricky. So I know to me, it would be a defining factor on especially what consoles I get day one. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I'm really interested. This is a topic I'm really interested to know how people feel about it. Like, is crossplay to you an actual big deal? Like, are you bothered, or are you just like a one console person and you're like, it doesn't matter to me if it carries over everywhere? Anyway, I mean, obviously Fortnite, for example, it's, even though I don't play it really on my PlayStation and things like that, the fact that it's on mobile as well. So if I just don't have my Switch for some reason and I'm just sat somewhere bored and I've got no access to anything other than the internet, then I can just jump on my phone and continue with what I'm doing, which is to me is a big deal. So let us know if is that something that bothers you. I'm really intrigued to know. Moving on, we have got number 5, which is Travis Strikes Again. Has finally got a release date. So Travis Strikes Again he's a character out of No More Heroes. I never played that game. I think it was a bit beyond my time. I think I was a bit too young to even really know what the heck that game was. I know my brother was actually into No More Heroes quite a bit, and I know a lot of other people were too. So Travis Strikes Again. It's not really a sequel. It seems like it's kind of a spin-off from what I've heard and seen. But the release date for that is January 18th, and I believe that is a Nintendo Switch exclusive, although I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that it is. Number 6 and our final news story for today. So Rocket League is basically getting a battle pass just like Fortnite. So this seems to be the new trend now. So we've gone through all sorts of trends like having to have a DLC code to get online, with the online passes and the season passes and all these things. We've kind of gone through all these stages, and now we're at the battle pass stage where it's like every game seems to need to have a battle pass right now. And Rocket League is joining in, and it's called, funnily enough, the Rocket Pass. And it is dated for the 5th of September. So it's really not far away. By the time you've listened to this show, it'll actually be on Wednesday, so 2 days away. I don't know how I feel about the Battle Pass situation. The thing is, I love that it keeps you engaged in the game for a long period of time. So like Fortnite, for example, I think if the Battle Pass wasn't there, I probably wouldn't play it anywhere near as much as I have done, especially this season. So how do I feel about other games, dude? I don't know. I think it depends, because like I feel like if every game ends up doing it, I'm not going to be able to keep up with daily challenges and all sorts like every single day for like 20 different games. So another game that uses it is called is Paladins. That's on the Switch, Xbox. I don't know if it's on the PlayStation, but that has a battle pass as well. And I remember it released on the Nintendo Switch. I bought it because I was just dead excited for a first-person shooter on the Switch. And I barely played the game, and I just feel like I completely wasted that money. So I don't know, but Rocket League is a game that I continuously go back to anyway. I love it so much. I have literally been playing that game since the good old days on the PS3 with Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle Cars, which is what it used to be called. I love it so much, and I think actually a rocket pass or battle pass for that, I think would actually keep me engaged in it. Actually, I feel like I would play that a lot. It'll probably draw me in quite a bit, so I might check it out this week while I've got a bit of time, and just check it out, see if it's any good, and then we'll see if I continue with it after that. But yeah, I'm interested. Let me know if you're interested too. So that again comes out on the 5th of September. So that is all of our news, and we are going to now move into our next section, which is what is out this week.
Can someone tell me what's out this week? Hey-oh.
Welcome back. It is time for what is out this week. So as always, usually the guest who is on, or the other person who's on, what will usually happen is I will give you every noteworthy game that's coming out this week. So I'm not going to list every single game because there's hundreds of games every single week that come out, and so I'm just going to give you the games that I think is noteworthy this week. And then they usually tell you which one you should buy. But I am going to take on that role today for the first time ever. I am going to tell you what you should buy this week. So, in order of date, on the 4th of September, which is the Tuesday, I believe. Let me check that before I put words in my mouth. No, so the 4th of September, which is the Tuesday, Destiny Forsaken expansion comes out on that day. So that is an expansion. You can buy a physical copy of that, which I'm imagining will come with Destiny 2 and the expansions that have come out so far. I was a massive Destiny fan when that first came out, played the heck out of it. Destiny 2 finished the main story, never went back. So I'm kind of done with that. I'm interested to know if anybody else is actually bothered with that game, but I'm certainly not. On the 5th, which is the Wednesday, which is a really weird game for a day for a game to come out, Dragon Quest XI Echoes of the Elusive Age, which is a fantastic name, comes out on the 5th. That game actually looks really good, but I don't think I've got time for it right now. And then we have got 3 noteworthy games on the 7th, which is the Friday. The biggest, of course, being Spider-Man, I would imagine. Spider-Man this has been developed by Insomniac Games, which is an incredible developer, and I can't wait for that game to come out. I've also got the collector's edition that's going to be coming, as well as the special edition as well. So if you want to check them out, we'll be having an unboxing on the day, as well as lots of gameplay and stuff, so check that out. And then on the same day, we have got NBA 2K19. And then finally, so last week we said that Elder Scrolls Blades was coming out. I was so excited to download it on the Saturday, and then lo and behold, the day before, the date changes on the App Store, and it's moved now to the 7th. So on the same day as Spider-Man and NBA 2K19, is it going to pull people away? I think it will slightly, to be perfectly honest. You think about it, all these people who are buying Spider-Man, it's going to be a lot of people are buying Spider-Man. I would imagine a lot of them will play Elder Scrolls Blades, and I wonder, is that going to pull them away because they'll be playing Spider-Man? I would imagine so, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm actually just checking right now if Elder Scrolls Blades has changed again, because they do love to do that. No, it still says expected 7th of September, so there you go. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So it's an interesting one. So I think, without a doubt, my pick of the week for sure would be Spider-Man. I think that is going to be an incredible game. I think without a doubt. There has been a bit of controversy around it where some footage not even footage, it was screenshots got leaked. And loads of people are going, oh, it's been downgraded and everything. It probably hasn't, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I think every demo at like E3 and stuff is like spruced up a little bit. It just is naturally. Like they're trying to obviously make it look the best it possibly can, but I think it's going to look incredible without a shadow of a doubt. And anybody who doesn't think that is a muppet, to be perfectly honest, and I think they're just trolling. So there you go. My pick of the week is definitely Spider-Man, but that is a PS4 exclusive. And for anybody who doesn't quite understand how this works, there is no way that this game is coming to the Xbox One. It's just not going to happen. This is through and through a PlayStation exclusive. Do I think it could it ever come to Xbox? Technically, I guess it could, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I don't think this game is ever going to come to any other system. It's possible that it could be a one-game deal, and the second game could come out on everything, but I really wouldn't hold my breath on that one. I don't know if... so Sony Pictures, I believe, actually hold a license for the Spider-Man movies. So I think they must have some pull somehow with this game. So I really won't count on it. So if you do not have a PlayStation, my pick of the week for sure is Elder Scrolls Blades. As long as it actually comes out that day. And I think some people will be surprised because I am a huge JRPG fan. I'm a huge Square Enix fan. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. So you'd think that Dragon Quest XI would be there, but I don't know what it is about it at the moment. I'm just not feeling it right now. I think it looks incredible. It's been getting good reviews, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be shaping up the way that I would particularly want. It's just not piquing my interest right now. I'm sure one day I'll get into it, but yeah, I'm just not feeling it right now. So my pick of the week is Spider-Man, and if you don't have a PS4, my pick of the week is then Elder Scrolls Blades. So there you go. So moving on, we're going to go into reviews of the week.
Oh, it's time to get funky. The reviews of the week.
Welcome back. It is time for reviews of the week. So usually I would... so we're going to try and... Now we've got video reviews going. We're going to try and do the big games as video reviews. We might have a little discussion about it here. But this section is going to be more for smaller games or games that have been out for a while and we want to talk about them. But there wasn't really anything else that came out last week. And my main discussion is obviously going to be around the Monster Hunter review. So I don't really want to spoil the score. I'll go and check that out. I think we put a lot of effort into the review. It'll be interesting to let us know what you thought of the structure of it and how it was produced and stuff. Let us know what you think of it. But the long and short of it is the game's pretty good. Pretty good. If you're coming out of the review and you're feeling angry because I didn't do it high enough or I didn't do it low enough, well, a bit of context around this review. I've been playing Monster Hunter games. I wouldn't say for absolutely ages. My first real step into Monster Hunter was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I think it was called Ultimate, on the Wii actually. And I've pretty much played every single one since then, which was mainly exclusive to the 3DS bar. I think it was Monster Hunter 3 again actually on the Wii U. I can't remember. Or was it Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate? 3 Ultimate, 4 Ultimate. I can't remember. It was one of the two. But it's pretty much exclusively been on the 3DS. And this is, obviously, Monster Hunter World came out on the PS4 and the Xbox One earlier this year. And it kind of changed a lot. It changed a lot. So the review was kind of from the perspective of, can this game shape up to it? Now, this game, the sort of story behind this game is obviously everybody wanted a Monster Hunter game on the Switch. The Switch is the perfect platform for this because you can have it on the TV and have that big experience, but then Monster Hunter is so good to take on the go. There's so many quests to do, just an unbelievable amount of monsters and stuff to go after. It's just so good for having to do non-commutes and all sorts. But this game was basically a port of the 3DS version of Monster Hunter Generations. So I didn't really know what to expect in terms of graphical style and everything. And I go into more of it in the review, but it just seemed like the graphics were kind of all over the place. Obviously, the graphics were never going to be absolutely incredible because it is a port from a 3DS at the end of the day. But yeah, it's not like the most incredible thing ever. But it's good enough, and you know, if you play in handheld mode especially, you won't notice some of the blurry textures and stuff as much. But I really wanted to get across right. If it came across in the review that I just did not like the game, that's not true. I absolutely love the 3DS games, and to me, this is certainly better than nothing. Playing it on the Switch, it is so fun to do, and I will, even though I think Monster Hunter World is a much better game, I will probably end up playing this one significantly more just because I can play it in handheld mode. So I just wanted to make sure that it was clear. Like, if you enjoy Monster Hunter, you will enjoy this game. You will. There is no doubt in my mind that you will enjoy it. I think it's more the question that I was really trying to deal with in the review is like, if you're new to Monster Hunter, I think this is going to be a tough one to get into. It's very complicated. It doesn't. The game kind of. It almost like assumes. It's weird. At the start, it's like holding your hand, but then at the same time, it's really not. And it just kind of assumes that you just know loads of things and you know exactly what every item does and things like that. So I think if you have been playing Monster Hunter games, even if you've played Monster Hunter World quite a bit, I think you will enjoy this game. It just is more difficult to wrap your head around some of the systems. But without a doubt, this game is much harder as well. But I actually like that, and I like that it is kind of more of a challenge. So I still stand by it. I don't feel like Mike would really. I think he would enjoy the game if he put the time in to learn the mechanics and everything, but I don't feel like he's going to want to do that. So I think the mission for everybody in this community right now is to make Jodie get the game. Let's come on, let's show the power of the CGN group, and let's peer pressure Jodie into getting this game. We don't condone peer pressure unless we're peer pressuring Jodie to get a certain game. So let's do that. Let's get onto it, because I feel like we would have such a good time playing online, and we could totally do some really cool gameplay of it and everything. So that's what we're gonna do. Hound her with messages. Spam the CGM Facebook group, spam the comments here, just make Jodie get this game on the Switch. It worked with Mike. Mike now has a Nintendo Switch, and he said he would never get one. He now has one. So we can do it, guys. We can totally do it. So that was kind of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. It is really good. You just have to give it the time. That's the only way I can say. I think I just about got through. I got a bit of a head start because obviously I've played them a lot before. But yeah, so there you go. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. I'm not gonna give the scores here. Watch the video review and let us know if you agree with us. So that was the reviews of the week. So there you go. Let's move on to section 6, which is topic of the week.
Topic of the week.
Welcome back. It is time for topic of the week. So there was a couple of topics that we had in mind for this week, and I think I'm still debating in my head which one I want to do, but I think I'm going to go for. So with the announcement of Nintendo's new mobile game, and the whole gotcha mechanic of almost spinning the wheel and seeing what you get and paying for that, this can be something that really damages people. Actually, I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about it. So the App Store, a lot of people, I still can't wrap my head around, especially with Super Mario Run. A lot of people got really upset, as in, like, I'm not talking about actual, like, hardcore gamers who love Mario and all this stuff, and probably more casual games, like some of the comments on the Super Mario Run app. So this game, I think it costs about £8. It's been on sale for about £4, I think. I think it's been 50% off and stuff. People got so upset that it wasn't completely free, like the entire game. There was even, I've said this so many times, this story, but I still just can't believe that there was a guy I remember did a review in the. It's kind of, in the App Store. In the App Store, you can kind of review it, just do a very quick, like, paragraph or however much you want to say. And he was literally like, "Come on, Nintendo, you make so much money. Why can't you just give us the whole game for free?" And I'm like, they still need to make money. Like, this game still costs money to make. Like, just unbelievable. But what I've always found really strange is that the App Store really is just so centered around free-to-play games, and these free-to-play games really don't end up being free in the end. And people literally spend so much money on in-app purchases. It's unreal. And there's been some stories of developers who's literally said, like, I remember there was one, I can't remember what the game was, but they were literally like, we're taking microtransactions out of the game and we're literally just going to have a pay once thing, because they were literally seeing some people, and you'd think a company would love this, but obviously I think this was an indie developer really, but they were saying that they literally saw like some people spend thousands of pounds on in-app purchases and, like, you know, the gotcha mechanics and spins and all sorts. And I just don't get it. I just don't know how you could spend. I can't even comprehend, like, what could you do with £1,000? I don't know. So the topic for this week is really, how moral are these systems? And I think this is something that really the whole world and governments and game developers and all sorts are really sort of struggling with. And it's kind of very much the loot box thing. I don't know if, especially with, like we talked about before, Battlefield 5, you know, they've took out, apparently there's not going to be loot crates and things like that. I think there totally would have been if Battlefront 2 didn't have such a controversial thing over it. But I feel like loot crates could possibly be slowing down a little bit, just because there's legislation and laws coming in to try and, you know, reduce the amount of, because it is very predatory. It's like, oh yeah, spend £40 on 40 loot crates, and really you just want one item that usually for a skin you pay like a £5 for. And you'll basically be spinning the wheel this whole time, and sometimes just not get what you actually want. And this is kind of, it pretty much is the same thing, really. And Fire Emblem Heroes did that on the App Store as well. And it's just really the moral side of it. Is it okay? It is very much gambling. I don't really want to get into the whole, is gambling moral or not. But I think in this situation, I just think so many companies now, especially on the App Store, they actually are enticing people into doing that, and, you know, just spend another £1, spend another £5, buy this thing that's 20 quid. I remember as well, I played the Family Guy game on my iPhone for so long. I think it was called Quest for Stuff, and it literally couldn't be a more fitting title, because it would literally, like, they do events and stuff, and, like, some of the stuff to buy was such outrageous prices. And people would honestly be buying these things all the time. And I think to me, the perfect way, I think, to do in-app purchases is probably how the recently released, what was it, Pokemon Quest. I think they did a really good job of it, where you could basically buy, they had like packs of stuff and stuff that you could buy as in-app purchases, but it had a limit. So it was basically the most amount of money you could spend was something like £28, which is funny because people, if the game just came out at £28, people would be outraged. But then people are willing to spend that. But I think it's good to protect people, to put a limit on how much that you can actually spend. So I think it's difficult, because I think it's not all on the company. At the end of the day, you as a person have to make the decision not to buy certain things. At the end of the day, you could go, oh, you can go to the shop and buy as many packets of crisps as you want, you know. And that really, Asda should have, or Walmart in America, they should really go put a limit on how many crisps you can buy. It you know what I mean? So there is an element of course, that it is down to you as a person to control yourself. You know, one of the fruits of the Spirit in the Bible is self-control. And it's for a good reason. It's not just for this reason, but it is a reason. I think, yes, obviously some of the responsibility is on us as our own people, but also I think what companies have done for quite a long time now is negated that responsibility for themselves. I think if you actually look at how some of this works, it's made to almost be like gambling. It's made to entice you in and want you to do one more spin. And a lot of them even look like, I think it's been talked about recently, but about a lot of them are actually made to look like fruit machines. And it's just not good. And I think, you know, there's been steps that have been taken, like not allowing, I think it's like over 16s to, you know, under 16, sorry, to make purchases and things like that, which is good. But I think if you're a parent out there, just be very aware that a lot of these free games, you need to check them out first before you give them to the kids, because they're almost like it's kind of sick in a way, but they kind of are made to entice kids in to want to pay money. Because obviously a lot of kids don't really have a concept of what money even really is and like how much it's really worth. And they're just like, oh, I want berries in Smurf Village or something. I remember that was one of the first ones that I think started a lot of this. Where it was buy Smurf berries and kids were spending hundreds of pounds on Smurf berries or whatever they call. So I think really going forward, what would I think needs to be some sort of legislation put in place. There is steps to being taken to that, especially in loot boxes where things like they have to show in some countries they have to show the percentage of the chance that you have got of actually winning the thing that you want to win. I think I don't know if there needs to be some sort of caps on how much you can actually buy, or it would even help if it was like a certain amount a day. I don't know. But I think something needs to be done so it just doesn't get so outrageous. And of course, for us as people in the community, we always say vote with your wallet. If some of this stuff it does look proper dodgy, just don't buy it. And if enough people don't buy it, people will stop it. Just like with the loot box situation in Battlefront 2. So that's kind of my ramble about in-app purchases and stuff. I don't think it's great. I think it's terrible for gaming as well. I think it cheapens games, even though you're spending more money. So yeah, I kind of just feel like mobile gaming has a lot to work through, I think, before it becomes serious. And I think what we'll probably talk about next week is, with Elder Scrolls Blades coming out, I am so intrigued to see how they're going to make money on that game. So obviously Bethesda's they had Fallout Shelter, which was completely free, had in-app purchases, and actually it was probably one of the most reasonable ones I've ever seen. I think the highest pack that you could buy of like lunch boxes was 20 quid. Usually they're like 80, and it's like best deal, get 20,000 more or something as a bonus. It wasn't like outrageous, and you could legit play the entire game. Arguably you should, because it actually makes the game kind of better. Is actually you can play the whole game without spending a penny, and it's totally you wouldn't even notice, to be perfectly honest. That's how well that game is made. You almost feel like you should be giving them money because of how good it is and how well it's done. You want to give them money because they're not scumbags. But with Elder Scrolls Blades, this is a free game. This is a very well-funded game. It's got the graphics are insane, and what else can I say? So yeah, so I'm very intrigued to see how that turns out, and what are they gonna monetize on that? Is there gonna be like loot boxes in it? What is it? Is they gonna prevent you going out on a certain amount of quests each day, which I really think is a bad move. I have no idea, but I'm really interested to see how they make money on that. So stick around for next week and let us, or you'll see what we thought of that as well. So that's been my complete ramblings. It's so weird to not have somebody to bounce off and just talk to, but you guys can talk to me. You guys can totally talk to me. But hopefully next week Jodie will be back and she'll be telling us all about her travels. But I hope you enjoyed this really weird late night gaming show with me, completely by myself. But we are committed to making sure that we have our videos going out every single week. So just to plug a few of our latest videos that have gone out. Of course, we've already talked about it, but the Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch review went out a few days ago. We have been working on this for so long, and not this particular review, but just how we do the reviews. It's something that I've been so excited for. I've always wanted to do this type of thing from day one. It was actually pretty much the reason we exist as CGN. It really is a core thing that we wanted to do. So I'm so excited that it's finally out there, our first one. So I truly, honestly, do request that you watch it and actually let us know what you think. I don't mean as in like going, oh, just tell me it's amazing. Like genuinely, if you've got any feedback, if there's things that you really liked and you want us to do more of, let us know. If there's things that you're like, oh, I really didn't like that, or I didn't like how you did that, or whatever, let us know. And of course, let us know if you agreed with what we said in the review as well. Do you agree with if you've played Monster Hunter Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate? Let us know if you agreed with the review or you didn't. We'd be really fascinated to know. Of course, as well, we also started a new series. So obviously, I've had a lot of time on my hands, so I've been working on a lot of stuff. But another series that we started is called Trashy Tuesdays. So every single Tuesday, we play basically a really cheap, nasty game, or what looks like a cheap and nasty game. We basically play it for a laugh. We record the whole thing, and then we basically come to the conclusion: is it actually a surprise and really good, or is it just a terrible game? The first one I thought was so funny. The game is called One Strike, and that's up right now. But tomorrow on Tuesday, unless you're watching this on a way later, on Trashy Tuesdays will be returning on Tuesday. So basically, your structure for going forward, Monday the late night gaming show will go out. We're actually we're discussing whether it's going to move back to a Friday. It may do because we can actually produce the show way faster now. So it might actually be better because then we're not falling behind on news, because usually we'll record it on the Thursday and it doesn't go out till the Monday, and a lot happens of course you finish the show and then the next lot of news comes out and you've missed it. So maybe let us know as well, is Friday a better day to put the show out? Let us know. We're still discussing that. So at the moment, though, Monday the late night gaming show goes out. Tuesday you get your fill of Trashy Tuesdays. And then we are hoping, although it is a lot of work, so we're going to try our best, we want to put out a review on a Friday and then have some gameplay and stuff in between that as well. So you'll have late night gaming show Monday, Trashy Tuesdays on Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday we'll kind of have gameplay and stuff out of whatever game we're reviewing. And then Friday will hopefully be a review for you guys. So that's kind of what we're aiming at. So we hope you'll come along, continue with this journey with us. We thank you every single person who has been with us and since the start of this year. I still can't believe it's been 10 months now since we properly started. Or has it been 9? No, it's been 9 months since we properly started. Not actually 9 months. No, it was the end of January. So it'll be just under 9 months we've been properly going for. And you know, my goal, I really wanted to see us get 100 subscribers by the end of the first year. And, you know, having regular viewers, and that seems to be happening. We're so close. We're 5 subscribers off. So I'm really excited for the future. I hope you guys continue to join us, and we really do appreciate all the support that we've had since the start. But we will see you next week anyway, for the Late Night Gaming Show, episode 30, would you believe? And Jodie will be joining me for that one. So I am so excited to have her back and for her to tell us all about what's been going on. So thanks for joining me on this really weird episode, and we will see you very, very soon. Bye.